Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be doing another yap session, second yap session of the day, and it's going to be about how to actually get what you want in life. So you guys are probably have big dreams, big aspirations, big goals, and you just can't seem to figure out how to get to those goals and to get it in the time frame that you want. Maybe you've already achieved some of your goals, but then you have this grandiose vision in your mind as to how you want your life to look like, and you just can't seem, you're trying everything, you're pushing, but nothing seems to stick, nothing seems to budge, and then you start falling back into your old self. So I want to give you guys 4 tips today, 4 actionable tips that's actually helped me get as close to the life that I want in my life, basically, in a relatively short amount of time. Obviously it's not going to be overnight, but these are actionable steps that you can take away as soon as you click off this video. So if you're gonna stick around, make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe if you're new to the channel, and let's get into it. So I want to go into a bit of a backstory. I wish I actually had images first to illustrate, but long story short, a couple of years ago, I was still in uni, and I was just doing the traditional educational route. I'm Filipino, but moved to the UK when I was 7, and then just, kind of went through the system there. Was pretty much the quiet, lonely kid who only had a couple friends, and they weren't even really close friends. Pretty unpopular, bottom of the barrel, didn't have any social skills, was super skinny, very shy. Just had bad habits, had a bad mindset, broke obviously. I mean, I was pretty young, so money wasn't really a concern to me, but as you get older, as you get into teenage years, that starts to become a responsibility for you. So long story short, that's where I was a couple of years ago, and I had these big dreams. I wanted to live like a nice life. I wanted to do what I want, when I want, how I wanted. I didn't want to continue uni, so during that time, dropped out of uni, and then was forced to have to move back home with parents, figure stuff out. My health deteriorated, my mindset deteriorated, still wasn't good with social skills, but I was just grinding on my business. I was trying to get out of there as soon as possible. And long story short, now I'm traveling. I'm in Philippines right now. I was in Thailand, lived in Thailand for 3 months, got the best connections that I could possibly ever ask for, best social life that I could possibly ever ask for. Confidence is way up, self-esteem is way up, self-image is on point, and yeah, the business is thriving, helping a ton of clients, health is on point, training Muay Thai as well, and yeah, just pretty much living the life that I want. So the first step that goes into that is defining exactly what you want. So like I said earlier, you guys have probably already done this first step, which is where you define what you want in life. What does a dream life look like? What sort of materialistic things do you look like? So a lot of people will frown on materialistic things and say, like, they'll frown on it. They'll tell you it's not all about the materialistic stuff, it's not all about the money, which is true to an extent, but if there's things that you genuinely desire, the nice things in life, the cars, the watches, the clothes, the nice places, the nice venues, the events that you want to hold every once in a while, like, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't let anyone shame you for that, because you get to live your life how you want. But the first step is defining exactly what you want out of life. Now, if you already have an idea, you have to ask yourself, okay, is it specific though? You can't just say, I want to make a lot of money, I want to be rich, I want to be successful, I want to be in shape, I want to have a girlfriend. You can't just stop there. You have to go a level deeper. You have to go many levels deeper. You have to be very specific about what you want in life, because what you want, what you ask for, is what you shall receive. So if you're going to ask for something, it has to be specific. Otherwise, you're going to get anything but that, whatever you ask for. Or you're going to get something that's not quite what you asked for or what you desired, and you're still going to be left uncontent. So you need to be specific about what you ask for, because trust me, if with enough time, with enough intention, with enough consistency and action and the right mindset, you will get the exact thing that you want. For example, I wanted to live in a nice villa in a tropical country with a pool, with a nice view, with my friends, and training Muay Thai, right? That was very specific. So I actually pulled up before this video. This is back in January 2023. Let me actually prove it to you guys. January 2023 was a vision board that I had. So created 1st of Jan 2023. I made this on New Year's Day. So I made a vision board. I'm not going to show the current one that I have because it's current, right? So I don't want to show anything that's too personal. But this is an old one. And this was the idea that I had in mind, was just my identity, my purpose, some results I wanted in life, and then some images to help me associate those outcomes and get me to visualize exactly what I wanted. And you notice how very specific this is. So for example, I have here like a Stripe notification. It's on track to a 30K month, like from a person who's doing 30K month. The exact physique I want, the exact kind of life I want to be doing. I mean, the exact kind of life I want to live. And yeah, just helping me visualize what kind of life and how my character wants to be. And then I was also, I was just, I don't want to go, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything personal right now, but I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to expose anything that's too personal, even if it's old. But anyways, define exactly what you want. So be very specific. Don't be vague. Don't be afraid to ask exactly what you want. And you will be very, very surprised about if you just do enough reps, if you just give it enough time, you're going to get exactly what you want. Because like I said earlier, I asked for a villa, asked for a hot country, asked for a good lifestyle, asked for great connections. All those things have come to me. I've gotten them, right? I've got a long way to go, but I've gotten them. And you can see here, a couple years later or a couple months later, managed to move out to Thailand, Koh Samui, on my Instagram. And yeah, lived in a sick-ass villa with my friends, training Muay Thai, eating nice food, going out. It was in a hot country, making connections. And I got exactly what I asked for, okay? I got exactly what I asked for. So the first thing is defining exactly what you want. If you don't already know what you want, get to that as soon as possible. The second thing is, and this is what a lot of people skip out on, a lot of people that you watch on YouTube or consume content from, they actually skip out on this step. And it's super important. It's actually just as important as the first one. And the second one is making a decision that you no longer want to stay where you are / your old life. You make a decision on the spot that you no longer want to repeat your same life. You no longer want to be the old you. That's very, very, very important, and it's very overlooked. No one ever talks about this, but this is just as important. Let me explain why. When it's all well and good having this first step. That's why I told you to do that. You got those goals, right? You got goals. This second step, though, is all about standards. So I can't remember the Sam Ovens quote where it's like, what was it? It was like, we will talk about our goals all day long and never achieve them, but we will fight like starving wolves to maintain our standards. So something like that. So the first one's about goals and having the direction, knowing exactly where you want to go, having a target. Because if you don't have a target, if you don't have a destination, you're never going to reach it, right? With standards, it ensures that you keep the same standard and you never fall below it. And what kind of standards am I talking about? I'm talking about the standards of your old life or your actual current life. And your current life, I'm going to mostly assume, because you're watching this video, you're not happy with. Okay, you want to make a change. Let me actually move this. Yeah, let me move all this first, because the other YouTube video stuff is getting in the way. Yeah, let's move this. So the second one's all about standards. You have to make a decision at some point, because there will be a point in the journey where you have these goals now. You want to make a change in life, but there's going to be so many temptations. There's going to be distractions. There's going to be temptations. There's going to be distractions. There's going to be old habits that you're going to fall back into. There's going to be days when you don't feel like doing the work. And there's just going to be a bunch of stuff that's going to come out. There's going to be doubt. There's going to be procrastination. There's going to be stress. There's going to be all these things that's going to try pull you off course to, let's draw a trophy, to the life that you want. There's going to be so many distractions that's going to try and pull you off course. So what we need to do to make sure that stays at a minimum or never happens, and that you're locked on, you're locked in to this, is that you make a decision at that point, whether you want to continue your old life and you want to keep making these same mistakes and falling into these habits, or you're going to do whatever it takes to get to where you want to go, right? And I find whenever, the times when I've had the most transformations, again, I'll bring another example in. So when I moved to Philippines, about 1 month in, so the first month I spent in the province with my family, so because I hadn't seen them in a while, and I was also trying to find a place in Manila to stay in, like a condo. And then I was there in the province. Like, if you don't know what a province is, it's like a small village. So I was in the province with my family. I hadn't seen in years, for about 3 weeks to a month. And then about 1 month later, I finally found a place, moved into Manila. But for the longest time, I struggled. Like I said, I used to struggle with social skills, and that, you know, I struggled to talk to people. My confidence wasn't the best. I found I had a filter when I talked to people, and yeah, just a lot of different problems. Also, I struggled to talk to girls. My confidence with them was not the best, right? And I wasn't going out all the time. I didn't partake in fun activities. I didn't go out. Yeah, I would just stay at home all day, being a hermit. Okay, so by the time I moved into my condo in Manila, I really had no excuse. Like, in my mind, I was like, okay, Matt, you're struggling with social skills, you're struggling with girls. There's really no excuse for you now to not go out and at least improve your social skills. You need to actually take action on this, because think about it, man. You're on your own, you're living by yourself, you got your own place, you're living in the city. Everyone, you know, there's a lot of connections that you can make in the city. Asian girls are your type. There's no excuse. And you're making good money. Like, and that's also that first or second week I moved in, I just made like one of my biggest, if not biggest, commission. I had my biggest week ever. So there really was no excuse. All the cards were in my favor. So at that point, guys, it's very important. At that point, I made a decision to not keep doing what I was doing, to not keep staying at home, keep struggling with my social life, to keep struggling with my confidence, to keep struggling talking to girls, to keep struggling to make connections and being all shy. I made a decision to not continue that. That was out the picture. And lo and behold, only like 1 to 2 months later, I basically turned my social life around. I turned my social skills, my confidence, my whole self-image around. I'd made connections, you know, I got better with talking to girls. I was going out, I learned to enjoy it, and I made some lifelong friends. So, and like the conversations that I've had today have taken me very far. So that's another example, all right? Make a decision that you no longer want to stay and continue your old habits. You no longer want to stay where you are / your old life, okay? Make that decision today, otherwise you never will. You don't want to continue what you're currently doing. So the third thing is going to be, let's have a look. Actually, before we move, I want to go to my Instagram, because that's got my media, that's got photos and videos I can show you. Instead of having to do it beforehand, I can literally just show you in real time. So this is when I moved to Manila. And then I started dressing different. I started going out more. Started going out to clubs and bars. Not for the sake of obviously that's like degenerate behavior, but at that point it was actually necessary for me, because as I said, I was struggling with social skills. I was struggling with talking to people, getting girls, right? So I have to force myself in these environments. Okay, to most of you, to some of you, that might look fun, and it's fun to me now, but back then it wasn't. All right, I was very nerve-wracked. So yeah, that's that. Anyways, number 3, proving or finding proof that you are the type of person capable of achieving X goal / outcome. So finding proof, what does that mean? That you're the type of person capable of achieving. Let's break this down into simple terms. So all that is just, it's basically a sophisticated way, you could say, of believing in yourself, of finding reasons to believe in yourself, of being your own best supporter, your best cheerleader. So when we're forming a new identity, when we're trying to do something, when we're trying to form a new identity, let's say, for example, be successful. Let's say rich. Right? You want to make good money, right? You want a thriving business. You're either going to be in two minds. You're either going to believe it or not believe it. It's either yes or no. Or this could also be like confidence. It doesn't have to be a plain yes or no. It could just be like on one scale from the other, like 0 to 10. How much do you believe that you're actually going to be rich and successful? It could be 0 to 10. All right. So when we find proof, so finding proof that you're the type of person, the reason, every opinion that we have about ourselves, so whether we believe we're going to be rich or not, whether we believe we're healthy or not, why we find it easy to have certain habits, why we find it easy to go to the gym, why we feel like we can dress, like why we know how to dress well, why we're good at talking to people, anything like that, why we're good at posting content, why why you're not XYZ thing, right? Any thoughts that you have about yourself, it's on a scale. It's on a scale. And there's like weights on the scale. And all these weights are reference experiences. They're past experiences. And the more weights you've stacked on one side, the more conviction you have in that belief about yourself. And then vice versa, right? So let's say you're rich. Let's say you're going to be you have this belief that you're going to be successful. The person that believes they're going to be successful has probably gotten, and they're fully committed and have conviction about this belief. They probably have had a lot of reference experiences. They probably had a lot of opinions told about them that they are going to be rich and successful, so they end up believing it, right? Let's say they ran businesses before as a kid and they went very well. Let's say they grew up around rich and wealthy people. Of course, that's going to help with them believing they're going to be the next one. And then all these things that just support the fact that they are going to be rich and successful, that they're stacking weights on one side, therefore that belief about themselves, they have so much conviction in, and vice versa. Let's say there's a lot of weight on this side and they doubt themselves that they're going to be rich and successful. Well, they probably had a lot of negative experiences. Let's say their family was poor. Let's say they have a lot of negative beliefs about money. Let's say their friends always judge them back at home they always judge the rich and successful. They say they're greedy, they say they're bad people, so it rubbed off on them. Let's say they tried to run businesses in the past, it didn't work out. And in all these things, again, weights. The more weight there is on one side, the more true or false the belief is going to ring for them, all right? And this is just one example. You can apply this to any belief that you have you're trying to fix. So it's up to you to try and decide, okay, what things do I have about myself in my mind that I believe and probably aren't good for me? So when I say finding proof, all you have to do is find proof that you are going to be rich and successful. So look back into past experiences that prove that you're going to be rich and successful. Maybe there's something you don't give yourself credit for that you actually did in the past. And yeah, like maybe opinions, stories, anything that you can do to convince yourself, okay, maybe I'm going to be rich and successful. I can believe in myself, because you are the type of person capable of achieving that outcome. You become the type of person who's capable of doing those things. All right? So that's number 3. Find proof that you are the type of person capable of achieving X goal/outcome. All right? Again, going back to the example of my social skills, I had to dig into my past. I actually did this exercise myself, so it's legit. I had on my notes app like a note, and I listed out all the reasons why I'm actually good with people, why I'm actually good at conversation and socializing. And as hard as it was in the beginning, because as I said, I thought of myself as an introvert, as someone who could almost never get good with people, as hard as it was, I had to force myself anyway, because there's things in the past that I've done that that show that I'm good with people, and I can talk to people. When I'm around friends and family members, I have no filter, because I don't care what they think, because they're my loved ones. So I made a whole list, and I just made a bunch of tick boxes, and eventually the weight starts to shift on the other side. And then you'll know when it's tipped as soon as you wake up and you feel like something's different. You feel that air of confidence about you, that, hey, hold on, I'm actually pretty good with people. I don't know why I was tripping the whole time. So that's number 3, find proof. And then the last one before we wrap up is getting the reps and doing the actions that'll move the needle. So going back to we're gonna go back to the confidence example, because it's just so easy for me. It's so easy for me to draw so many parallels to that. So getting the reps and doing all the actions that'll move the needle. What do I need to do to become a more sociable person? What do I need to do to become more confident? What do I need to do to become better with girls and actually bag them? What do I need to do to build high-level connections in Manila, or online for that matter? Okay, the answer is, you probably already know the answer. Like, you don't have to overcomplicate it. It's just you have to go out more, make yourself a person of value, because you can't just make these connections. You can't just get girls if you're not someone of value. You know, you need to make yourself a valuable person first. You need to fill your own cup first before you can fill other people's cup. All right, so go out more, make yourself a person of value, get the reps in, which is actually, that's just the first one. Just go out more. Go out more, make yourself a person of value, lead with value, and don't expect anything in return. That's a big one. Other things that do help. It's like just dress better, be in shape, learn how to speak properly and confidently. All these little things that add up, and they help you with the type of goals that you have, which is, for me, it was social skills. So all these things, you probably already know the answer. You probably already know the answers to what you need to do to get what you want in life. So now the reason why you're not getting what you want in life is because you're holding yourself back from getting the repetitions and actually doing the things that's going to get you there. That's going to move the needle. You know, you're probably not going out enough. You're not making it a job. You're not treating it seriously to go out and meet new people and forcing yourself out the comfort zone. Talking louder than usual. Using body language and gestures. Speaking with no filter. Smiling more. Getting a better haircut. All these little things, you're probably not doing them, or not all of them at least. That's why you're not getting what you want. You need to do the things that you need to do. Do what you gotta do. Go out more. Go out every weekend. Do all these things. You know, get a haircut. If you haven't gone, I'm gonna get a haircut tomorrow, but get a haircut, all right? Smile more. Practice. You know, have a good social media profile. Okay, have a good social media profile. You can't just be, if you want to make connections, if you want to date hot girls or something, whatever, you need to have a good social media profile. I'm afraid John, who has no social media, has no profile picture and is private and doesn't have a bio or whatever, has a weird username, you're gonna get bad results. Okay, so do all these things, guys. Come on, don't be scared. Just go do it. All right, just do the actions. Go out. Talk louder than usual, use body language and gestures, speak with no filter, smile more, get a better haircut, and then the list goes on, right? And it's just, again, one area of life, social skills. Apply this to any and all areas of your life. So, guys, that's how to actually get what you want out of life. You know, life has been amazing ever since I learned these things and I actually implemented them. I'm living the life that I've always wanted to live. I forget that sometimes, you know, there's problems that come up. There's things that stress me out here and there, but I have to sometimes stop and I have to reflect that all these things, the life that I'm living on a daily basis, this is what I used to once try to manifest, and this is what I used to almost pray for, you know. So, and you too, like, no matter the situation you're in, there's probably things that you wished for that you already got, and you just kind of forgot about it. So goals that you've already achieved that you wished you achieved in the past, you were praying for, you were trying to do your best to get. All right, so be grateful at the end of the day, be thankful for what you already have, but just know that you have to make a decision. If you want more, you have to make a decision to not settle. And there's more to life, and you can get anything that you want. All right, it's up to you. You place the limits that you put upon yourself. So enough yapping. That's how to actually get what you want out of life. These are the 4 tips that I use to help me get what I want out of life at just 21 years old. I'm gonna keep using this. By the time I'm 22, I'm gonna get a good chunk, if not all, the goals that I've listed and I wanted, and the life that I want moving on to next year. All right, it's not gonna be a surprise to me anymore because I'm using these 4 steps. Okay, so hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe if you're new to the channel. Learn directly from me, link in the description, and I'll see you in the next one.